Next list is on Roman daily life. As you watch the video, you'll notice that there's many similarities between the Romans and us, but you'll also notice they live very different lives day to day. What was it like to be a Roman peasant, a Roman gladiator, a Roman emperor? Find out more by watching this video. The first term on the list for Roman daily life is the Forum. The Forum was an open area in the center of Rome used for trade, government, entertainment, meetings, monuments, and temples. It's still located in the historical center of Rome, and you can visit it today. It has no relation to the Forum, which was a basketball stadium in Los Angeles. Now there's many concerts there. Or the Forum in Las Vegas in Caesar's Palace. It's like a shopping center or mall. Inspired by Rome, but not the same thing. The word forum means gathering place. It was a gathering place for all Roman citizens, senators, women, slaves, merchants, and foreigners from places like Britain, Spain, and Egypt. During the Roman Empire, cities were huge, but most people still lived in the countryside and were poor. The next item on the list is Roman food. Rich Romans and poor Romans ate in different ways. For example, the rich enjoyed eating in their homes because they could afford kitchens and have slaves make their food for them. The poor had to go to outdoor grills called Thermopolia and eat their food there, or in the grills they had inside their homes, which were sometimes very dangerous because they could cause fires. Foods that were common in Roman society were bread, beans, spices, vegetables, cheeses, and meats. However, the Romans ate many weird dishes. For example, they ate mice cooked in honey, parrots stuffed with dates, salted jellyfish, and they ate snails dipped in milk. And there's many other recipes that they ate which we would consider very gross today. Another thing that was sort of gross that the Romans ate was something called garum. Garum was fish sauce, and the Romans poured this all over their meals for dinner. Roman markets had monkeys and other animals to attract customers to their stalls. There were live animals everywhere to be sold, and it probably smelled awful and was very unhealthy. The third term on the list is Roman religion. The Romans adopted many of their gods from Greece. They believed that gods controlled their daily lives. Romans left offerings at temples and sometimes sacrificed animals to honor their gods. Some animals they would sacrifice would be bulls and sheep and oxen. The Romans also honored their emperors as gods. For example, Caligula made a statue to honor himself as a god and put it in a temple. The statue was made out of gold, and it was dressed in the clothes that Caligula was wearing that day. The fourth term on this week's list is Roman recreation. The rich enjoyed plays and theater because slaves did most of their work for them. Public baths were available to all Roman citizens, and the Romans would use it to bathe, exercise, have steam baths, massages, and swim. The Romans had gardens, libraries, and shops to entertain themselves, and they also watched gladiator fights and chariot races as sporting events. The emperors needed a way to keep the poor happy with breads and circuses, so they always had food and entertainment available to keep the citizens impressed. The most famous stadium is in Rome, and it's called the Colosseum, but there were many other arenas throughout the Roman Empire. Gladiators fought each other and sometimes wild animals in these arenas. There's other Colosseums or arenas in Verona, Italy, in Pula, and many other cities that you'll see in the pictures. Imagine being a Roman citizen without books or a TV, and you see a lion for the first time. These spectacles must have been very interesting. The Romans also went to chariot races. The most famous stadium for the chariot races was called the Circus Maximus, and it was a racetrack in Rome that could fit 200,000 spectators. The last term for the Peppy List is Roman housing. Just like today, the rich and the poor live in different housing situations. The wealthy Romans lived in stone and marble homes, which had thick walls with an atrium in the middle and an indoor pool to keep the home cool. An opening in the ceiling let light in. Mosaics and statues decorated these rooms. Look at this mosaic in Pompeii. It's of the famous battle of Alexander and the Persians. The original is in a museum in Naples now. Poor were in tall, crowded apartments. Sometimes these apartments would be above shops that they worked in. Fire was a danger because they cooked on grills in their home, and sometimes these caught on fire. Rats with disease were plentiful, and in 64 CE a fire broke out, destroying much of Rome. If you enjoyed the Peppy List for Roman daily life, please like or make a comment.